I will start.
No, just a second. Hello, everyone. Good morning from Brazil. Good evening for those in Dubai and in the Middle East. Welcome to the Agribusiness Virtual Trade Mission webinar, Brazil's edition. We would like to thank you for joining us today. My name is Daniela Reple. I work at UAE Embassy in Brazil, and I'll be the moderator of today's webinar. In today's webinar, our high-level speakers will present new opportunities to be explored in the Gulf region, mainly in the United Arab Emirates for Brazilian companies and exporters. If you experience any issue with your audio and video during the webinar, just refresh your browser, please. We also suggest you to use Chrome, Firefox, or Opera. If you have any questions to make to our speakers, I kindly ask you to make them in the questions box in the right side of your screen, and please address it to whom would you like to answer it. To do the official opening remarks, I would like to invite the Chargé d'Affaires of the UAE Embassy in Brazil, Mr. Saeed Alshehhi. Before assuming his current position in Brazil as head of the administration section, Saeed also has served in Paris as assistant of the military attaché and at the European Department of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation. And previous to that, he was also head of the political section and consular section in Berlin. Please, Mr. Saeed, we invite you.
Hello, bom dia. I hope everyone doing well in this difficult time. I will talk a little about the United Arab Emirates and the work that the embassy does in order to promote the trade between UAE and Brazil. In recent decades, UAE has emerged as one of the most dynamic and successful trade centers in the world, with the high-level infrastructure. With a multi-cultural population, UAE offers business opportunity to all sectors, being indeed a business hub not only for the Middle East, but for the world. Brazil is also a hub for Latin America in order to further strengthen the relation between the two countries. We have finalized important agreements with Brazilian government, such as the avoidance of double taxation. UAE and Brazil are strategic partners, and this webinar shows that we still have a space to strengthen our bilateral relationship in the economic, political, and social field. Thank you.
The Caribbean and Spain of the annual investment meeting, Mr. Astrid Shedid will explain with details what is the Agribusiness Virtual Trade Mission. Please, Astrid, come in.
Thank you, Daniela. Thank you, Mr. Saeed, for your kind participation on today's webinar. I know your schedule and everybody's schedule is pretty hectic, but I appreciate that you took the time to be here with us. Thank you very much. Well, let me just start with the presentation. I'll try to make it as swift as possible to respect everybody's time. Thank you very much for all the participants to be here. So, the annual investment meeting, for those that haven't heard of it, it's an initiative from the Ministry of Economy of the United Arab Emirates. It started over a decade ago with the objective with sharing with neighboring countries the methodology that the UAE has to attract foreign direct investment, and basically how they managed to make Dubai famous worldwide. So that was the first objective of this event. And then it started to evolve, and it turned into a place where companies and really important projects could meet investors from all over the world, and also officials from the government could meet investors and other companies from all over the world. So for now, it's a platform where important projects meet important investors. We have an event every year in March or in April, around March and April, where all investors and the projects meet in Dubai. But this year, as you know, because of all the circumstances that we had to face for the pandemic, we have postponed this event from March to October. But well, in the meantime, we have developed new strategies that will help reactivate the economies in Latin America and the Caribbean. And this is one of it. This is one of the strategies, and I would like to share it with you today, and thank you for the opportunity. It's an agribusiness virtual trade mission being developed by the UAE, Latin America, and the Caribbean Investment and Business Hub that was established in Mexico last year. So who are we looking for? We're looking for companies from the agribusiness and agri-food sector that have experience in exporting and are looking to explore the Middle East market, and who are interested also in internationalizing their operations. Well, for the short and medium term, we're looking forward to help companies to develop new strategies in order to sell their products in the Middle East. I know that there are many, many companies in Brazil that are already exporting to many markets, and we're looking for them. We're looking for those companies that have experience in exporting, but are looking to explore this new market that's, well, pretty interesting, and also they have a lot of demand for Brazilian products, especially from the agribusiness and agri-food sector. What's our objective too? Well, we would like to collaborate with these companies in the networking process to organize them in order to have all the documents needed, all the certifications needed, all the characteristics that their products need to have in order to enter this special market. And how are we going to do it? Well, this is the timetable of all the activities we have planned for this to happen. A couple of weeks ago, on June the 30th, this program was explained and was shared for the first time, and it was kicked off. And beginning on June 30, we started to receiving applications in www.mcongress.com/btm/register, which these applications for us. Which applications are in order for us to know your company a little bit better, in order to analyze. We have a special committee that's going to analyze your company and the information you send, in order to evaluate how fast or how easy your products are going to be placed or sold in the UAE or in the GCC countries. So we invite you, this session is to invite you to send us your information in this website, and then a committee is going to analyze all the information that you send. Then on August the 7th, elected participants are going to be published, and then we're going to give these companies that were selected 30 hours of online training between September and November. And after that, in late November, we're going to be having the B2B meetings for the virtual trade mission. So as you can see, it's a long process. I'm going to be explaining a little bit more about it, but we hope that with this process, we're going to be able to make and have early success and success stories from companies that participate with us. So why participate? We're going to be choosing over 35 companies from countries in Latin America, the Caribbean, and Spain that are going to be having meetings with buyers from 5 countries in the Middle East. And we're going to be having over 125 of these meetings. Before that, as I told you, we're going to be having 30 hours of training and mentoring in order for these companies to be ready to meet with these buyers. Because as most of the people that are with me here today on stage are going to share with you, you are going to be needing this training. You're going to be needing this information in order to have successful meetings with the buyers. Also, I didn't mention this before. Before having the meetings, we're going to have one more event that will help you prepare. It's going to be an online pitch competition between the participants, and it's going to let the participants practice how are they going to present their product before the buyers. And we're going to have 3 winners. I'm going to talk about the prizes too. And we'll also why participate because we're giving a discount in the AIM Business Center that's based in Dubai. And this center is like a co-working space that has space, that has office space for your company, that has meeting rooms and has internet and parking space and all of the characteristics you need in order to have meetings, presential meetings in the future for your clients and your buyers. And also we're preparing towards participating on Expo Dubai. It used to be called Expo 2020. It's going to be still called like that, but it's not going to happen in 2020. I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about Expo. Expo, it's an event that's been happening for over than 100 years. It's an event that happens every 5 years in a different city in the world. It's also called the World Fair. You may have heard it like that. And the World Fair has been happening successfully around the world for over more than 100 years. And it's an event that it helps showcase special projects, and it helps showcase for every country in the world in their pavilions, well, their tourism characteristics, their gastronomic characteristics. It's very special. So it's going to happen in October 2021 in Dubai. Before that, it happened in Milan in 2015, and before that, it happened in Shanghai in 2010. So that will give you an idea of what's going to happen with Expo. And well, my fellow participants here in the panel will let you know how important it is. Who should participate in our virtual trade mission? Well, we want companies dedicated to agribusiness and agri-food production interested in the Middle East market. And these are the products that we are focusing on, but we are not so closed about that. If you have a product that it's not in this list, just send your information in the website, in the link I shared with you before, and the committee will for sure consider it. I'll give you 2 examples. We have a company from Costa Rica that's dedicated to grow trees in a sustainable way. And they, with this good that they get from the trees, they make good for decoration for inside the houses. So they asked me, they are not agri-food, but they are agribusiness. So they asked me if they should participate, and I told them yes, because the committee must surely be interested about their products. They are not going to be sold in a supermarket, but for sure we can find a proper buyer for them. And there is another example. There is a company from Ushuaia in Argentina that make bottled water, and they are very interested too in participating. We told them, yes, of course, you are not food, but you're beverage, so please go ahead. Even though your product is not on this list specifically, go for it and participate. So about the virtual competition, these are the prizes. First place in the virtual competition gets 100% discount in the virtual trade mission investment. Also a VIP invitation in the virtual trade mission for a special meeting during the mission, and round air ticket to Dubai in March. Also the hotel and 2 VIP entrances for the annual investment meeting, the event I mentioned at the beginning of my participation. That's for that gathers the most important of government officials, investors, and companies from all over the world. It's a very, very big event. In the last edition, we had over 16,000 participants from 140 countries in the world. Second place gets 50% discount in the virtual trade mission investment, also an invitation for the VIP mixer, and 4 nights in a hotel for also participating in AIM. And third place gets 30% discount in virtual trade mission and invitation for the VIP mixers in the VIP trade mission. So in summary, what does it include? What are we offering in the virtual trade mission? We're offering the 30 online training hours that have the objective to prepare the materials and products for the virtual trade mission meetings. So we're going to be working on your product selection according to the demand in the GCC countries, the catalog, pricing, Incoterms, logistic strategy, label, packaging. Of course, we're going to be talking about business protocol for Arab countries and online business protocol, and storytelling and some negotiation techniques, market analysis, social media, interaction, your website, all of that you will be needing for your meetings. What does it also include? The chance to participate in the online pitch competition, specialized mentoring before and during the trade mission, 5 B2B meetings, meaning business-to-business meeting with retailers in UAE and the rest of the GCC countries, 1 B2G meeting, meaning with UAE authorities, and 1 meeting with authorities from Latin America and the Caribbean who are based on the UAE. 1 dedicating webinar featuring your company, and automatic eligibility for the other trade missions. This one is the first of 4 trade missions that we're going to be having. Some of them are going to be virtual, some of them are going to be presential, and some of them are going to be mixed, a little bit of both. So also a 15% discount in any of the AIM Business Center annual memberships. What's the cost for all that's included? In early bird price before August 14th, it's $2,500. And in regular price after August 15th, it's $3,000. And this includes the 30 hours of training, the mentoring, the opportunity and the participation in the virtual competition, the 5 B2B meetings and the 2 B2G meetings, and of course the follow-up meetings up to January. So that's all that's included. You don't need to pay in order to send your information and register. You only pay after the committee chooses your company and it's posted on August the 7th. If your company gets chosen and it's posted on August the 7th, you'll get the chance to participate and to pay. So this is my contact information. I also put it on the chat space, but I'll place it right there if you want to see it a little bit more. And well, that could be it for my participation. I'm going to give the floor for the rest of my very, very well prepared colleagues that are right here on stage with me. But I really appreciate that you took the time to listen to this presentation, to be here. I really hope that you are safe with your families. Please keep taking care of yourselves. And well, if you may please consider this opportunity as a very good opportunity that this new world gives us. We don't need to be present necessarily right now. Companies are willing and buyers are willing to have these kinds of meetings right now, and it's a very good opportunity to, well, mostly almost the same cost, but you will get a lot more and in education, in training, in knowing another part of the world. And well, I want to take the opportunity to thank Apex. Thank you very much, Karen, for being here. To thank Daniela for being our MC. To thank the Arab Brazilian Chamber of Commerce for their partnership, permanent partnership with AIM. And also, well, my friends Tomás and JP, Joao, that are always hand by hand participating in all AIM initiatives, and I'm very happy to have them here today. That's it for me today. I'll be available for questions after the participation, after everybody's participation, but thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Astrid. Thank you very much, Astrid, for your explanation so clear about the Agribusiness Virtual Trade Mission. And now to talk about the importance of the trade relations between Brazil and the GCC countries, I'd like to invite Ms. Karen Jones, Chief Operating Officer of the Brazilian Trade and Investment Promotion Agency, APEX. Karen is a Brazilian qualified lawyer with a master's degree in international law and legal studies from the University of Bristol, who has lived and worked in the UAE for the past 14 years. Professional experience has included working as a legal consultant for the Brazilian company Sadia International, known in Brazil as Sadia, and being part of the team responsible for establishing the representative office of the Brazil Bank, the first Brazilian bank to set up operations in the Gulf region. We welcome you, Karen. Please, your words.
Go ahead.
You can now, yes? Okay. Thank you very much. Good morning to all, and good afternoon to those who join me here from Dubai. Thank you, Daniela, for the kind introduction. On behalf of APEX Brazil, the Brazilian Trade and Investment Promotion Agency, I'd like to thank Mr. Saeed Alshehhi and the UAE Embassy in Brasilia, as well as Ms. Astrid Shedid and the AIM Organizing Committee for this kind invitation to join the webinar. I'd also like to greet the other invited guests, some of whom are our long-term partners, like Paulo and Rafael. We've known each other for a long time, and the other guests as well, who we meet here today, and also everyone who has taken the time to sign up and watch from Brazil or from Dubai or wherever it may be. So as mentioned, APEX Brazil office for the Middle East. I head the office here in Dubai. We've been here since 2008. We're based at the Jebel Ali Free Zone, and I work here with another 4 colleagues, all excellent professionals. And our mission is to promote Brazilian products and services and assist Brazilian companies to internationalize to this region. We also work in terms of attracting foreign direct investment from these countries to strategic sectors of the Brazilian economy. Trade relations between Brazil and the Arab countries has grown substantially over the years, and we see great potential for expansion. We already have significant presence in this market, but we see that we can play an even bigger role in terms of strengthening our position as a strategic partner, particularly for food security in the region. In this sense, we at APEX Brazil work very hard with our partners to create opportunities for Brazilian companies to prospect and do business in the UAE and the region. A good example of that is the participation we organize the participation of Brazilian companies in some of the main events, the main trade exhibitions that take place here in the UAE, like, for example, Gulf Food, where we traditionally bring around 80 to 90 companies to exhibit, and we have really fantastic pavilions and make a wonderful presence for Brazil in that fantastic event, which attracts buyers not only from the UAE and the Gulf, but also from the whole of the Middle East and neighboring regions. APEX Brazil is also responsible for the organization of the Brazilian participation at Expo 2020, as Astrid mentioned earlier, now 21 to 22, which we are certain will be a fantastic event. Despite all the challenges, I'm sure that the UAE will overcome, and Expo Dubai will be a fantastic event. And that again will consist in a fantastic platform for Brazilian companies to come promote their services, to promote their products, and for us to showcase the best that Brazil has to offer. However, in this time of COVID, of course, we are facing new challenges. The UAE government has been fantastic in terms of doing everything it needs to contain the pandemic. And we have already seen great progress. Economic activity has already started. And the country is starting to open up even to receive tourists now. So we've come a long way since March and the lockdown that took place at that time. So we are hopeful that the events will start again in the second semester, and Brazilian companies will be able to come again and explore the market, and we'll be here to assist them. However, in the meantime, of course, the virtual business platforms have become strongly important for this meeting with the local buyers. And we therefore strongly welcome this initiative by the UAE government to organize the agribusiness virtual trade mission between the UAE and countries in Latin America. So that was a great presentation, Astrid. I think what is interesting for the program is the fact that we will include the mentoring. So we believe that through that, companies will have access to very strong and important information, because it is essential that they prepare well so that they can increase their chances to be more successful when doing business here and when meeting up with potential business partners. So we sincerely hope that the mission is a great success. And we will be here, the Apex Brazil team will be here, so that Brazilian companies at any time participating in the mission or not, we're here to help and assist. And we are familiar with the AIM annual meeting, which takes place every year, but we see with great happiness the branching out of AIM into other opportunities. And we believe, we work together with them, with all the other partners, in terms to increase as much as possible the platforms and the opportunities for Brazilian companies to come, to prospect, and to hopefully establish a strong presence in this market. So that's all for now. I thank you again for this opening so that we can participate and showcase a little bit about what Apex Brazil does and how we can assist. And I'll be here in case there's any questions later on. Thank you very much. Back to you, Daniela.
Thank you, Carrie, for explaining us the high-level importance of the Apex office in Dubai and the importance of the food security as well. Now to talk about the halal market trends and opportunities, which is very important for the Brazilian exporters, since it brings credibility, and also Brazil is the leading producer of halal protein in the world. I invite Mr. Tomás Guerrero, manager of the Halal Trade Market Center. Mr. Guerrero has been working at Instituto Halal as head of the Madrid office and international relations director for 5 years. He has decisively contributed to modernization and internationalization of the Institute, reaching more than 400 certified companies, helping them start their operations in Latin America, and also becoming one of the largest halal certification bodies in the world. Please, Mr. Guerrero, your word, come in.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much, Daniela, for your introduction. Also to the annual investment meeting and the UAE Embassy in Brazil teams for their invitation. It's a pleasure, it's an honor to be here with all of you today for sharing some thoughts about the halal market opportunities for the Brazilian companies, as well as for giving you a brief introduction about the Halal Trade and Marketing Center value proposition. Well, as you know, the halal market is growing so fast. This business niche is offering great opportunities in many sectors, such as food, cosmetics, or pharma, but especially for food and beverage companies. The OIC countries, the 57 Muslim majority countries, are most of them net importers of F&B products. Depending on the country, the Muslim majority countries are importing amount, between the 60 or 70% of the F&B products that they are consuming. And obviously, this is a very, very good opportunity for the Brazilian companies. For this reason, the Dubai Airport Free Zone Authority, along with the Dubai Islamic Economic Development Center, decided 2 years ago to set up the Halal Trade and Marketing Center. The Halal Trade and Marketing Center is a global business development center focused on the halal economy opportunities for the industry, which includes manufacturers, producers, importers, distributors, and retailers for halal products and services. The center, as I mentioned, was co-founded by DAFS and the IDC for enabling companies to fulfill and identify gap on the halal market. In short, our mandate, our role is supporting companies worldwide to capitalize on the opportunities that the halal market is offering today, especially in the 57 Muslim majority countries. Well, HTMC, the Halal Trade and Marketing Center, is offering services in 3 key areas. We have 3 areas of services, and among them, we have marketing intelligence services, where we are supporting companies to get information about the main trends and opportunities in this fast-growing market. Then, secondly, we have an area related to the halal legal framework, to the halal compliance. We are not a halal certification body or accreditation or standardization body, but still we have some advisory services as well as some training programs in order to support companies to better understand the international requirement that they need to fulfill for getting their halal certified products.
Oh, I think we lost Thomas. Let's wait it like a little more bit to see if he come back, or we can give the word for you, Joao. I will introduce you, of course. We would like to invite João Paulo Paixao, Chief Representative from Dubai Chamber of Commerce and Industry in Brazil, an entity that brings together a lot of companies with operations in Dubai, UAE. Bachelor in International Relations from PUC São Paulo, with an MBA with Government Relations from FGV. João was the international advisor at São Paulo City Hall, being one of the coordinators of the city participation in Expo Shanghai 2010. He also acted as Commercial Intelligence Coordinator at the American Chamber of Commerce, ANCHAM, and later as International Business Executive for the Arabian Gulf region and Manager of the Market Intelligence Area at the Arab and Brazilian Chamber of Commerce. Please, João, your words, and we will wait for Tomás in case he'll be back. Thank you, João.
Thank you very much, Daniela, and hopefully Tomás will be back very, very soon to continue his speech. So good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and it's a pleasure for us to be here. On behalf of Dubai Chamber of Commerce and Industry, I'd like to say to greet His Excellency Mr. Saeed Alshehhi, Daniela, my colleagues, my dear friend from Apex, Karen Jones, also Luiz Caruso from the Brazilian Ministry of Agriculture, and my old fellow Rafael Solimeo, as well as Tomás, who will be back very soon. So I'd like to start off, of course, expressing my best wishes to all of you in this challenging period. In times like this, when whole communities and nations come together to face this common threat, we learn how the power of cooperation can guide us through these difficult moments. So for those who yet are not familiar with the Dubai Chamber of Commerce and Industry, we are an Emirati institution, a semi-government entity that has over 245,000 members operating in Dubai. We also have 11 international offices across emerging markets to support our members in Dubai in finding reliable market information and also the best suppliers, partners, and clients around the globe. We also have a very active food and beverage business group in our headquarters in Dubai, and of course, they are eager to participate in such projects like this one that we are discussing today. So the very timing for this virtual trade mission greatly connects into a chain of several initiatives that has been successfully done by both the United Arab Emirates and Brazil in recent times. In the past weeks, for instance, the international offices of Dubai Chamber in China recruited 55 Dubai companies to participate on an online trade mission to Canton Fair. So an example that companies and business elsewhere are reinventing themselves since they cannot travel to certain regions yet. Of course, our office here in Brazil also supported 10 Dubai companies meeting food and beverage suppliers from Brazil and meeting some of our members over there in a virtual B2B week promoted by the Inter-American Development Bank. And last week, we successfully held, along with our offices in Argentina and Panama, a joint webinar with 250 attendees to discuss the challenges and opportunities between Latin America and the GCC, the Gulf region, and to discuss about trade and investments, and specifically talking about logistics. So, and a couple of days this week, also our office in Panama also promoted a very interesting webinar with Panama's Ministry of Investment. So we feel that the relationship between Latin America and the Gulf are gaining momentum, while governments and business are identifying new opportunities for expanding both trade and investment for these two very dynamic regions. And of course, most of it is done through Dubai. In the UAE, the government is working very much towards stimulating the economy and supporting the local business over there. They have implemented a comprehensive and stringent precautionary measures to protect both the health and the safety of our citizens and residents. And on the part of Dubai Chamber, as the representative.
I think we lost Joao now. Tomás, would you like to continue your speech while Joao doesn't come back, please?
Sure. Sorry for the
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to explain that the Halal Trade and Marketing Center is currently offering tailor-made services in three key areas. I was mentioning that the first one is the marketing intelligence, where in short we are providing market studies to those companies who wants to know more about the main trends and opportunities in this fast-growing market. Secondly, I was also explaining that the HTMC is not a Halal certifier or accreditation or standardization body, but still we have some services such as training programs or advisory services for helping companies to better understand the Halal standards, and also to implement those standards in their companies in order to produce and sell Halal certified products. And finally, we have a third line, a third pillar of services related to growth support, where we are also assisting companies worldwide for identified and connect with the main importers, distributors, and retailers for their Halal certified products. Well, we are providing all these services through the power of our service partners. Among them, we have partners from different sectors and countries. We are For example, we have some chambers of commerce as well as some trade promotion agency. We have the Arab Brazilian Chamber of Commerce as well as Dubai Chamber among our service partner. We have also some Islamic banks and research advisory firms in order to work as an aggregator and find always the best solution for those companies who reach us looking for finding new opportunities in the halal markets.
Thank you, Tomás.
Sorry, Joao.
Have we finished? Can we continue? Okay, thank you very much for great inputs about the halal market. And Joao, let's get back to you now, please. I'm sorry that we lost you, but great that you're come back.
No problem. It's like a debate. We are actually everyone that's here. I think we have the same goal. So our speech go in the same direction. So it's really interesting to be here. So I don't know where the connection have been lost, but I was just mentioning the recent efforts from the UAE government to stimulate the private sector, and of course the chamber, as a representative of the private sector over there, has launched numerous initiatives to give back to the community over there, and also to ensure the business continuity as best as possible. Just a couple of days ago, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum announced the third stimulus package worth $408 million US. So in total, it's over almost $2 billion already invested by the UAE government to provide liquidity and business continuity, and also to reduce the cost of doing business. As most of you are aware, like UAE is it's in the top ranking of doing business in the world. So, but even though the government is still pushing and to improve the business environment over there. And not only the Emiratis, as you know, like we have many wonderful Brazilian business operating over there, and they benefit from all of that. The UAE and Brazil trade ties are becoming more and more strong in the recent years, thanks to high-level visits and the increased presence of UAE companies in the region here in Brazil, and of course the large number of direct flights as well. So after reopening for tourists, we have reopened it for tourists in 7th of July. We're also happy to hear from Emirates Airlines that the route between Dubai and Brazil will likely be resumed by 2nd of August. So Brazilians will be able to travel to Dubai and vice versa. Dubai in particular has become like a preferred gateway for Latin American companies that also have expanded their footprint across Middle East and Africa. And Latin America and the UAE also have like a set of strengths and competitive advantages that complement one another. Brazil is, of course, one of the largest agribusiness producer and exporter, and the UAE, because of food security, relies a lot on that. On the other hand, the UAE also produces a lot of fertilizers and chemicals that could come to Brazil to give more and boost the production of agribusiness here. Just to give you an idea, like Dubai and Latin American non-oil trade exceeded $7.6 billion in 2019, which was like a 23% growth comparing to 2017, when Dubai Chamber established its first office here in Brazil, the first office in Latin America. Of course, this growth cannot be held like in our account, but the effort that we decided to establish our business here, our office here in Brazil, shows that Latin America, for the first time in many years, is a priority, and Brazil, of course, is our top choice. Exports from important agribusiness products from Brazil to the UAE, like for instance, roasted coffee, beef, cloves, and limes, just to name a few, have grown in 2020 in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic, one of the largest global crises in our generation. So there is some resilience that for certain business, and of course there are opportunities for everyone all the time. Meanwhile, the number of Dubai Chamber's Latin American member companies has almost doubled from 157 in 2016 to more than 400 today. So of course most of them are coming from Brazil. And as Astrid mentioned, we are soon in October, we will be starting our 1-year countdown to the Expo 2020. And Dubai Chamber is the official business partner for Expo 2020. And of course, we will organize our largest event focused on Latin America during that period, our Global Business Forum on Latin America, and also 30 country-focused events across the Expo 2020. So, of course, one of them is Brazil, and we know that this will attract a lot of attention from our members in Dubai and from the public in general. And well, we do believe that the annual investment meeting is a very important part of the Hall of Great Business that are hosted in Dubai, specifically in March to 2021, which is like a period of time where many business are happening. And I'm sure that whoever participates will be able to meet potential buyers, partners, and investors from across all Middle East and North Africa region. So the participation in this virtual trade mission, it's an opportunity not to be missed. We also believe on the positive outcomes from competitions that give the chance for companies to show their best, and also select the best among the best to support their international business environment. Just to give you an example, last year we promoted a startup competition that selected the three best artificial intelligence projects among almost 250 competitors, and we sponsored the participation of these three startups to attend exhibit at GITEX Tech Week, the largest tech show in the Middle East. So I'm sure that this competition promoted by the annual investment meeting will also be a major success. The Brazilian agri-industry is certainly of utmost importance for the food security of the UAE, GCC, and the broader region. And of course, Brazilian producers and traders must grasp this opportunity. We strongly believe in this message, and that's why we are here together with our fellow colleagues to support and connect the business from all over Middle East and North Africa, who will also be participating at the annual investment meeting. So our office here in São Paulo is always here to assist. So please take advantage of the support that we also can offer you along with other partners here. And we wish you all a very successful participation and hope to see you all back in Dubai soon.
Thank you, Joao. Thank you for the information you brought about Dubai Chamber and the UAE government. In fact, Dubai is a hub for all the MENA region, Middle East and North Africa region. And since you mentioned the Emirates flights, I would like to inform our audience that from Brazil to UAE, we have 19 weekly flights from Rio and São Paulo together. So yeah, we are very connected. And now to talk about the diversification agenda and commerce flow between Brazil and Arab countries, I invite the representative of the Arab Brazilian Chamber of Commerce in this webinar, Mr. Rafael Solimeo, head of the international office in Dubai. Rafael has an MBA in international negotiations and has been working with the Arab Brazilian Chamber of Commerce since 2013, responsible for the entire Gulf region. Please, Rafael, come in.
Hello, thank you very much. Before I start, I'd like to thank Ms. Astrid from Annual Investment Meeting for having us, Mr. Walid Halal as well. I believe that this webinar that we're having, has great relevance and has great importance for the relationship with South America, the Caribbean countries, Spain, and the Arab world. Also, the embassy of the UAE in Brazil for promoting this event as well, under the person of His Excellency Saeed Alshehhi, and also Ms. Daniela. Mr. Luiz Caruso, the investment attraction at the Minister of Agriculture, and a big, big, big hello to my dear colleague Karen, the guru of promoting Brazilian business in the UAE, as with Mr. Joao Paulo, the Dubai Chamber. We go way back in promoting the business of Brazil in the Arab world. And last but not least, Mr. Tomás Guerrero from HTMC, that we have an MOU together between our entities and to help promote business even more between Brazil and the Arab world. I'd like to say a little bit about the Arab Brazilian Chamber of Commerce. We are an entity that exists for over 68 years, and we are a private non-profit organization, and we belong to the Union of Arab Chamber of Commerces. We are the only entity in Brazil that is recognized by the Arabic League as well. Speaking from our head office, I'm speaking from one of our offices in Dubai. Dubai is the international office of the Arab Brazilian Chamber of Commerce, and we serve all 22 Arab countries. Yet this year, we're going to have an office in Egypt and also in Saudi Arabia. And just to mention that our head office is in the Paulista Avenue, and also we have an affiliate in Itajaí, which is in the south of Brazil. Okay. Let's give us some details, some numbers, which I would like to say. First of all, I don't know if all of you are aware, but the Arab as a bloc, the 22 Arab countries, represent the third commercial partner to Brazil. So we only lose to China and the US. Over the last 2 decades, there have been a growth of over 600% of the exports from Brazil to the Arab world. And as you must well guess, the agribusiness is the main sector. So, for example, from 2002 to 2012, there has been a humongous growth in the exports within agribusiness. I think from $1.6 billion to around $10.8 billion. So I think 2012 was like a best year. 50% of the food consumption of the Arab world, now speaking about the Arab world, over 50% of their food consumption is imported. Thus, the importance of us creating and the Arabs creating and giving emphasis to the word food security, especially now with the crisis that we're undergoing and the delicate situation that we are living. Food security could not be a better subject for us to discuss. So when I talk about food security, the Arabs, they believe not just in importing products from Brazil, Latin America, and so on, but they also believe a lot in their own production. So let's not just focus on commodities, but perhaps added value products such as animal feed, machinery, organics, industrialized food. And most importantly, I would like to talk to you about agrotech. So basically, we believe that agrotech it's very important for this that we are doing right now. Very important for the investment. Very important for food agriculture, for food security. And I think that Brazilian companies have a lot to export. Their knowledge, their technology. We can help identify startups focused on agribusiness, and also that we have, we need another webinar to discuss is perhaps a triangular relationship between Africa, their fertile land, such as in Sudan and in Egypt, near the Nile River, and Brazil, our technology, our know-how, and the Gulf countries, the GCC, their funds, perhaps. I think that what I'm trying to say here is diversify the commercial balance. I think that's the main point I want to get across. And I think that's it. I think we've been working with Annual Investment Meeting for many years. We've been following their success. I think this project is a great initiative. I see that Annual Investment Meeting, they're really modernizing themselves, as with all of us right here on this webinar. And I think that the virtual mission from South America, Caribbean countries, Spain, and basically the Arab world, because we understand that the UAE as a country can be a hub for the Arab world. I think we all have a lot to gain from this initiative. So thank you very much. Thank you very much for being part of this.
Important observations on food security and diversification export agenda. Brazil indeed has an expertise in agribusiness technology. We have Embrapa. Maybe Luiz can talk more about it. And these are great news about the new offices in Egypt and Saudi Arabia. Brazil will be even closer now with the Arab countries. And now to do the close remarks, but not less important, of course, we will receive a high qualified representative from the Brazilian Ministry of Agriculture, Livestock and Supply, Mr. Luiz Caruso. Caruso is the General Coordinator for Foreign Direct Investment Attraction and International Cooperation at the Brazilian Ministry of Agriculture. Prior to that, he was posted in Washington as the Brazilian Agriculture Attaché for the United States. Mr. Caruso has been working for the Ministry of Agriculture since 2004. He also worked for the financial institution Banco do Brasil and managed his own business in the grain sector. Please let's receive Mr. Luiz Caruso.
Thank you very much, Daniela. Is it okay? Okay. Well, first of all, it's a pleasure to meet all of you. Meet Astrid, Daniela, Karen, João Paulo, Rafael, Tomás, Your Honor, Dr. Saeed, Alshehhi. I believe if I'm not mistaken, I think I already met Karen here at Apex here in Brasilia, and João Paulo, I think I've met you already. I'm not sure, but anyway, as Daniela was saying, I'm together with the Ministry of Agriculture since 2004, and the past 5 years I've spent in Washington D.C. as the agricultural attaché, and came back to the ministry in January of this year. I'm posted here at the headquarters here in Brasilia at the Secretariat of International Relations, which the Secretary has 3 departments. One of which is the one I'm posted in, is the Department of International Promotion. At the Department of International Promotion, we have two main lines of working lines. One is to promote our products and export, and basically do what Karen was saying. We do many projects together with Apex Brazil. So we to take our producers, to take our exporters abroad to sell their products. And the other line, the other working line is the one I'm heading nowadays, which is to bring foreign direct investment to Brazil, as well as international cooperation. And regarding foreign direct investment, it's interesting to say that the ministry, we are launching a project of green bonds, green financing, which will be something very, very, very relevant, which is basically, in simple words, is for our agricultural sector to bring investors from abroad to invest in friendly environmental projects. Basically, is that, which is our main. We look at the program. It has around $163 billion of potential of investment in these green bond projects. So it's something very strong that will be launched by the ministry together with some initiatives from Europe in the very close future. I believe it's something that has an enormous potentiality to have some relation between EAU and Brazil. Regarding that potentiality, I agree totally with what you said, Joao, about all of us here having the same goal and the speeches going on the same direction. Brazil and the EAU we are great partners. In terms of agricultural products, we export around $1.3 billion of products. It's the average of these past years. We export basically, well, basically everything, but the main products would be beef, chicken meat, beef, sugar, forestry products, cellulose, coffee. And now I believe it's the goal of this new administration of Minister Teresa Cristina is we have to diversify our products around the world. So we are in search of that, which is, I also see it as a potentiality for the two countries. And interesting to say, back to investment, I remember in the past, well, some years ago, I had a secretary here at the ministry. He told me something very interesting. For other countries, there are some countries that are net importers, food importers in the world. They're looking basically for their food security. And when we talk about food security, you can have it by raising your production in your country, or by guarantee imports, by producing in other countries. In Brazil, for a country to guarantee their food, their production, if they want to guarantee their food security, they don't even have to produce the food here in Brazil. We have the whole chain of production here. You can be a partner. You can be a partner of a cooperative. You can be a partner of an industry. You can be a partner of any productive chain, production industry in the chain that you can guarantee your food security. So, as I said in the beginning, I believe we are already great partners, and I believe we have the enormous potentiality to boost that partnership as much as we need both of our countries. It's a win-win game between us. So, once again, thank you very much for being here, and it's a great pleasure. And whatever depends on us here at the Department of International Promotion, we will support all all these trade missions and actions in regards to foreign direct investment. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Caruso. I really appreciate that you're here with us today. The government representatives from Brazil are very close to these initiatives and to the activity between Brazil and the UAE, and we really do appreciate that. I'm so sorry for all the changes on the screen. The system only allows us for 6 participants, so Mr. Saeed and Mr. Daniela, who are our hosts for today, are out for us for now, but so that we can have a little bit more discussion about the Q&A that our participants and the public may have. That's why I replaced right now Daniela, and I really appreciate your understanding. On these times, on these days, we're trying to adapt as best as we can to all the circumstances, but let's take the best of it. For now, I'll like for the public to place their questions, to place their comments. Is there any doubt? Just please have the certainty that we are all going to be working as a team. I'm very glad that this webinar was organized by the embassy in order for us to present all the plans and the programs that we are having personally with AIM, with Annual Investment Meeting, not only for agribusiness, but for all our pillars that are foreign direct investment, foreign portfolio investment, startups, SMEs, and the One Belt, One Road initiative and smart cities. So I know that all of us here in the on stage, we're all going to be working together in order to help Brazilian companies to export their products to the UAE and the GCC countries in general, and to internationalize eventually, and also to get investment eventually. We are going to be working together to prepare the companies in order to be ready to succeed in these matters. So I don't know if any of you have any questions. I appreciate that the speakers are sharing the information here in the chat. I'm also going to send you an email. You're going to get an email with the presentation that I shared and with the information, any further information you may need. But I'm going to place in the chat too the link where you can sign up. You have only until July 31st to participate. Please don't consider this opportunity and don't miss it. You will be able to get 30 hours of training as well as 5 B2B meetings with buyers from GCC countries and the opportunity to visit UAE in next March and maybe next October too, and the other March and the other October. We can start traveling and visiting Karen, who's over there in Dubai, Tomás, who's over there in Dubai, and Rafael, who's also over there in Dubai. I believe they are all going to help us very much. And well, JP and Mr. Caruso will also be working with us, with you, in order to join all these efforts in internationalizing and exporting. I know that we will, and I'm very glad for that. I believe there is one question. Let me go to the tab. It's loading. I don't know if any of you can see. I see it now. Is Brazil still a hub for South America? If yes, how to deal with the trade flow between Central America and the Gulf, since Brazil has no much relationship with those countries? Is Mexico a good option, a good job for the region? Anyone would like to answer Paulo's question?
Astrid, I can, may I?
Sure, go ahead.
Just talk about, well, one of the core business here of the Ministry of Agriculture is to open markets regarding sanitary and phytosanitary issues, yes, specifically. So I can tell you, Paulo, that we've been opening, and in the past, as I told you, I've been the past 5 years out of the ministry, out of the headquarters. But when I came from these past months, I arrived in January, February, I came back to work, and in March, we started this pandemic, crazy times. So things are a little bit out of normality, let's say like that. But we've been opening, we've opened the past months. I remember, like, for example, exports of rice to Mexico, and for Central America countries as well. We opened our for imports, Brazil's market for imports of beans from this region as well. And so we've been working, we've been opening the market, as you all are aware of. It's an administration that has this tendency, this idea of open market. We are, of course, Brazil is how would you say, the perfect world for Brazilian agriculture would be a world without no barriers for agricultural products, no non-tariff barriers, and no tariff, and as well as tariff barriers. So we are open, and we are opening, and we are having these close relation to all the countries in the world, as we export for almost basically the whole world. So this area, Central America and Mexico, it's a focus, it's a priority as well in our agenda here at the ministry. Thanks.
That's great. I really appreciate that you shared that with us. Please count on me. I am in charge of all Latin America, the Caribbean, and also Spain. If you need anything from Mexico, from Central America, I'm sure also you're counting on the Dubai Chamber, because they also have offices in Panama and Argentina. But I'm at your disposal. In any case, you need to open market, especially in Mexico and Central America. I'm ready to help you out also.
Thank you very much, Astrid. And I remember just saying that nowadays we have 23, if I'm not mistaken, agricultural attachés around the world, and one of the including one in Mexico that the post there, it started two years ago, something like that.
We can start working together, and this
Sure.
network has to grow, and well, it's time for it to be like that in these difficult times. We're willing to sum up to any initiative.
Very good. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Is there anybody else want to make any closing statements? JP.
Yes, no, just if I may, and I agree with what he just said, that what we have to understand what is the role for the hub. Like, for instance, Brazil, we still have like a large lands and territory to explore, although Brazil also have a huge productivity. So ideally, to invest here in agribusiness, Brazil is still, you cannot match what Brazil offers in terms of resources. When we talk about business, Brazil has also improved a lot in terms of business environment, and we see that, for instance, like a capital like São Paulo, we have companies and business from everywhere. For Central America, it's very far from the Middle East. So in terms of logistics, maybe it's still your cargo still needs to come to Santos or to some ports here in Brazil in order to reach those regions. Of course, the Pacific is also another option, and that's why Panama, we had established an office there, can also be a hub because of the ease of doing business, the connectivity, and elsewhere. But of course, companies have to decide over many aspects. So Brazil is not just a hub. You have like a huge market to explore. That's the case for Mexico, I believe, which also has a huge market to explore. So, and it's close to the US. So you have to, it's not easy to decide whether to invest or to establish an operation just looking for for a hub. You have to consider everything.
Yes, completely right. But well, thank you very much for that reply, and thank you very much for the question, Mr. Paulo. I believe that we have taken enough of your time. Let me start closing. I really appreciate the Embassy of UAE in Brasilia, all their help, even though Daniela and Mr. Saeed are watching us but are not on stage. I really appreciate all your help, your organization, and your disposition to collaborate with this great initiative. Thank you very much for the UAE embassy in Brazil. Also, well, thank you, Ms. Karen Jones, for being here with us today, representing Apex. Thank you, Mr. Rafael Solimeo. I'm sorry about the pronunciation. Remember, I speak Spanish originally, but thank you very much to the Arab Brazilian Chamber of Commerce. I know Mr. Tamer is watching us, and I appreciate that they have been with us from the beginning on this program, and I do thank you for that. Mr. Luiz Caruso from the Ministry of Agriculture in Brazil, thank you very much for sharing your knowledge in these matters. Mr. Tomás Guerrero from the Halal Trade and Marketing Center in Dubai, thank you very much for your participation and for sharing with us your knowledge in a subject that's of most important, that it's Halal certification. And Joao, thank you very much for representing the Dubai Chamber of Commerce today, and well, for sharing all your knowledge too. I really appreciate all the people that stuck to us till the end, and you'll receive the repetition of this session along with the presentation. Please remember that the open call is going to be open until July 31st. I already placed the link over here. Don't miss the opportunity to participate. You will be very happy to do it. You will have a lot to win. Thank you very much. I appreciate your presence, and I wish you all have a good day, and please stay safe.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone.